So we need help from the state and the feds. The HEROES Act has in it a provision for $180 billion with a B for relief for renters, mortgage holders, and small businesses. As cliche as it sounds, we literally are all in this together. It's time to put everything aside and give a relief, a bailout for everyday Americans. Not big corporations, but everyday people trying to stay housed and keep their mortgages sound.
Congratulations on keeping things alive and going well in your district.
Thanks, Maria. I appreciate that. We're here to keep things going. That's why I'm doing this job.
Okay, well, you take care.
Thank you.
The DMV extends license renewals for seniors. Council District 11 has fire safety tips for you. And election officials are looking for quite a few good poll workers. These stories up next on City Beat.
The California Department of Motor Vehicles is extending non-commercial licenses for drivers 70 and over until 2021. The idea is for senior residents to avoid public places such as the DMV during COVID-19. The plan applies to residents whose license expires between March 1st and December 31st, 2020. And while the DMV usually requires in-office visits for residents 70 and older, California law will be relaxed during the pandemic to allow these extensions. To learn more, go to dmv.ca.gov. As we step outside, we can feel the blazing California heat hitting us, and instantly we know fire season is here. It's an unfortunate yearly occurrence, and with the northern LA County already experiencing some brush fires, we know we need to prepare. Thankfully, the City of LA has developed apps that can help alert you in case of an emergency. Be prepared with valuable safety tips. Visit www.11thdistrict.com/be-prepared to learn about apps that can help save the lives and property for you and your loved ones. There's a strong likelihood that COVID-19 will keep many voters away from the polls, but many still wish to be able to vote in person. This has left election officials worried since November is fast approaching. A large turnout is expected, and the fear of a poll workers shortage is putting officials on alert. The need for workers is great, but you can help. You can sign up and help your city, state, and country during the elections. If you wish to be a poll worker, find out how. Visit sos.ca.gov/elections/poll-worker-information.
A good citizen's work is never done. Volunteers in Council District 15 dusted off their rakes and rolled up their sleeves in the name of community pride.
Today we're here doing a community cleanup with the Wilmington community. So we're focusing today on our major corridors like Avalon Boulevard and Anaheim Street. So right now our services are a little slower due to the pandemic. So because of that, the community wanted to organize a cleanup.
All of our cities need to be taken care of and cleaned up and maintained. And if the city doesn't have an opportunity to do it all, well, maybe it's time some of the citizens stepped up to the plate.
We need to start thinking about the community and our environment and just making it a beautiful place. This is people's homes. We want people to be able to feel good about their neighborhood and come home and feel good. We're working outside, so I feel pretty good about that, and there's lots of fresh air and people are socially distanced, we're masked and gloved, so I feel like it's safe.
We're power washing our main commercial corridors, locations where people walk a lot, go to restaurants, go to grocery stores. So we're making sure we're doing our part to keep people safe and keep our communities clean.
I'm coming with some of the students from Baxter High School. We want to teach them how important it is to give back to the community. So we were happy to find out about this event and share it with the students.
I'm learning that maybe the whole community should start picking up their community around so that other people don't have to come all the way from their house and pick up.
We all have to live in the city together, and I don't want to see all this washing out to the ocean, and our kids deserve a much better environment.
If you want to organize your own cleanups in your community, reach out to your council member, reach out to our council district here, Council District 15, and we're happy to help.
It's time now for our latest edition of the Great LA Food Giveaway, and it's all for a good cause. In one corner, we have the dynamic duo of LA Bowl and SoFi Stadium with the Boys and Girls Club of Wilmington. In the other corner, we have our own council president, Nuri Martinez, teaming up with the LA Food Bank. This looks like it's going to be a close one. Let's check it out.
LA Bowl is here donating 10,000 pounds of fresh produce and dairy to the Boys and Girls Club of the Harbor, Los Angeles, Wilmington. Inside of the boxes contains carrots, apples, dairy products such as yogurt and milk. In total, each box is about 35 pounds of fresh produce and dairy products.
We were able to start our weekend wellness program to feed 300 to 400 families every Friday to keep food on the table Friday through Sunday, and we're doing this for 50 consecutive Fridays. The pandemic has brought a lot of financial hardships for many of our families that might have already been struggling. This has even hit them harder because a lot of them are without a job and not being able to provide for their own family. We're able to bring this to them from Friday to Sunday. 3 months ago, we had to make the difficult decision to close our doors due to the pandemic, but 2 to 3 weeks after that closure, we were able to reopen as grab-and-go distribution centers, putting 25,000 meals a week in the hands of our members and families.
There's a lot of people out here on behalf of SoFi Stadium and the LA Bowl supporting the community, and not just this community, we're also going to be in San Pedro, and we're also going to be in Torrance. And next weekend, we're supposed to be doing another one of these events out in LA and in the LA Metro with the Boys and Girls Club. So we're really focused on helping out our community over the next 60 to 90 days.
This would not be possible without the many supporters like the SoFi Stadium and LA Bowl and the LA Food Program. Thank you for everything.
Today we're having a drive-through food distribution here in Panorama City. We are expecting to serve 3,000 households that are in need of food assistance. What each household is going to receive is about 80 pounds of food. It's a combination of shelf-stable items, frozen meats, dairy, as well as produce.
The need is tremendous. You will hear it in people's voices. You will see it in people's eyes. People are desperate for work. They're desperate for help. They would not be standing here for hours if the need wasn't great.
With this rough times that we're going through, we need a little bit more help. And, she's helping us, and it's, I encourage people to come over here and come, take a part of this event for them to help themselves too.
No, pues opino que es una buena causa para la comunidad ahorita por lo que está pasando. Desgraciadamente vemos mucha gente que nos han recortado el trabajo, no estamos trabajando y es gran ayuda, la verdad, para la comunidad de todos.
I am so grateful for the food that they're handing out today, and I encourage all my neighbors, all my friends, I posted it on Facebook, to come and get some food. The city is so graciously feeding us, so please come and take advantage.
We're going to be here as long as we have to, where the city of Los Angeles will continue to step up and provide these types of events for them to be able to provide food for their family, provide assistance with being able to pay for their rent. We're in this together. We're just going to have to hold on a little longer, but everyone has to wear a mask. We all have to do our fair share in order to decrease the infection rate and ensure that people are staying home safe. But more than anything, ensuring that the working poor have a fighting chance to be able to survive this pandemic.
Wow, both of those organizations have got pretty smooth operations going on. But based on sheer volume, we're going to have to give Council President Martinez the edge. Well done, everyone, and thank you to all.
In the wakes of the protests and the unrest over the death of George Floyd, LA made some promises to change. Well, changes are in place. As a matter of fact, City Attorney Mike Fuhr just appointed Heather Aubrey as an equity officer. What does that mean?
This position of special assistant ought to be the person in our office who is powerfully engaged on civil rights issues more generally, but also somebody who can focus both internally and externally on assuring that the remarkable diversity of our office continues and grows, on assuring that our role in communities throughout the city can continue to be to transform neighborhoods, to assure that every member of our community is lifted up.
Civil rights is in your DNA. I mean, this is something that is, you're part of a legacy. Father is very, very well known and very highly regarded in regards to civil rights here in Los Angeles. What was it like being part of that legacy?
He was so committed to the cause of racial justice, social justice, fairness and equality for all. He devoted his life to it. He devoted his blood, sweat, and tears. I intend to carry on in his legacy the best I can. The office already has taken a leadership role in terms of LGBTQ and immigration-related issues. There may well be, and I suspect there will be, more opportunities in the area of racial justice and other marginalized groups in being able to have our voice as an office heard in those kinds of cases at the Supreme Court.
Through the actions we engage in, whether it be in court or on the street, making sure that kids know how deeply valued they can be.
Today is the beginning of a serious talk about reimagining public safety and how the community can be incorporated in that reimagining.
Well, the healing circles are a intervention that came out of our community where people said after there's violence, you know, the police come, the ambulance come, and then the news media comes and everybody goes away and we're left holding the bag. And so the healing circles are a way for people to come together and really deal with healing from that event. You get stressed out and you get pulled to a certain point that you snap. And so what this is meant to be is an intervention that we do as a community. We don't need anybody from the outside to come in. We don't need a whole lot of money. We just need a room and some people and time to dedicate to each other to provide our own healing.
This is really needed in all these communities because we still have a lot of hurt people out there and don't have a platform to be able to express how they're feeling, and they feel alone.
It helps you become what you are, be that intervention of helping hurt people because you once was hurt.
15 years ago, a group of guys that come from this community wanted to do something different. We all decided we're gonna get together and make sure the next generation didn't grow up the way we did. So we wanted to make a safe place for them.
Today is a perfect example of what is possible. It's a good day. Let's take a good day.
In addition to resurfacing streets, they construct and clean them. They maintain our urban forest, which actually includes over 680,000 street trees and 295 acres of landscaped median islands. Streets LA. I'm delighted to be joined today by Adele Haj Khalil, the Executive Director of the Department of Public Works Bureau of Street Services. So nice to have you here.
Great having you. Thank you for having me.
How does Los Angeles work with Climate Resolve, and what is it?
Climate Resolve is a nonprofit organization focused on taking the global issue of climate and bringing it down to the local level. Fighting the climate change and adapting to climate change is our top priority for us today and tomorrow. In LA, temperature gonna triple in terms of days with 93 degrees and higher will triple over the next 20 years. So what we need to know is figure out how we can deal with this new normal and to make it safe for everyone. Our goal in Streets LA is to enhance the quality of life for all. That's the new mission in Streets LA. It's not just about fixing streets, it's how we make our life better.
There's obviously, as you mentioned, an enormous amount of climate concerns here in Los Angeles, but then there's this thing, cool streets. What is a cool street?
During the day, all that heat that's coming down is being absorbed by the asphalt. So the idea of cool pavement or putting a light color coating on the black asphalt, like a white paint in a way, used from emulsion, that can really reflect the heat off. And we are the first city, I think in the whole US, that applied it on public streets. And we started doing it in one block, then we moved to multiple blocks, and now we're doing it as a urban cooling project.
Every department in the city, and actually everything, has changed and have had to adapt to this new workflow. And you made a pretty dramatic pivot when everything went to the Safer at Home, and it sort of benefited business districts. So what was the decision? How did you decide what to do, and what have you been doing?
Adapt.
Okay, there you go.
Yes. So, with the Safer at Home orders, people were staying at home, and we relaxed the parking enforcement. So people were parking and not going to work. So we could not pave our streets, and we haven't stopped a day. Throughout the COVID, every day we continued to work. All our workers have been really putting themselves out there to fix our sidewalks, repair our streets. But we didn't want to interfere with people's lives being at home. So we knew that in the commercial areas, many of the streets were empty. And one of the nightmares was, getting a paving done in the commercial area, because it's just difficult because of traffic and impact on businesses. So we came up with this and said, can't we just switch schedules? Let's move all commercial work done in this period of time. Let's move on it and get that done. We quickly pivoted, and starting April 10th, we started paving around commercial areas.
Things that you have noticed and learned and you're hoping will stick after the crisis is passed.
So to me, we're working with our partners in the LA Department of Transportation. We're supporting the efforts to make the streets available for people to walk. But I've talked to Salida Reynolds, my friend, general manager of LA DOT, about the future. I think people want to have a permanent slow street. People want to see some streets closed to traffic and just use it for pedestrians or for dining. I think this is an opportunity for us to reimagine or recreate our city. COVID, although we all suffered from it, and we lost many friends and many lives, it's really making us think about our future, what we need to do.
Let virtual chocolate sundaes tickle your funny bone. Log on to free wildfire preparedness webinars or check out the library's online art class. All this next on Virtual Things to Do.
Want to try your hand at sketching like the pros? Well, the Los Angeles Public Library's LA Made series has just the online class for you. Let art teacher Melissa Elliott teach you how to draw in the perfect art class for everyone who thinks they can't draw a straight line. You will learn that as your eye follows the curves, outlines, and shapes of an object, so does your hand. This program is a combination of demonstrations by the instructor and hands-on drawing by the participants as they follow along from home. Contour Drawing is an online program that streams live on Facebook and YouTube. For more information on how you can participate, visit lapl.org. Join Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez for a free emergency preparedness webinar series. With wildfires becoming a regular occurrence in the San Fernando Valley, learning how to prepare your family and property from potential dangers could not be more important. A new webinar with tips and lists will be available Mondays beginning in August. Topics will include evacuation planning, wildlife protection, and more. Sign up the whole family for the Emergency Preparedness Webinar Series. To register, visit tinyurl.com/YC6H2EA3. The hottest comedy show in Hollywood is now live in your living room. Chocolate Sundaes is known for bringing the hottest, most diverse talent to the Hollywood stage. And now you can enjoy this virtual event from anywhere online. Everything you love about Chocolate Sundaes, the hilarious comedians, the inclusive vibe, the trendy ambiance is now available in your living room. What are you waiting for? Come laugh with the virtual Chocolate Sundaes stand-up comedy show, Sunday, August 2nd. For details, check out their listing on Eventbrite. And that's a look at some virtual things to do.
That's it for this edition. I'm Saida Pagan. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Los Angeles City Council. Today is Wednesday, July 29th. I'm Nuri Martinez, the President of the City Council. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Blumenfield.
Blumenfield present.
Bonin.
Bonin present.
Buscaino.
Buscaino present.
Cedillo.
Cedillo presente.
Aristosen. Aristosen. Koretz. Krikorian.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Martinez.
Present.
O'Farrell.
Present.
Price.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Rue.
Here.
Wesson.
Wesson here.
13 members and a quorum, Madam President.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes of July 1st.
Mr. Blumenfield moves and Mr. Weston seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Bonin moves and Mr. O'Farrell seconds. Next.
Madam President, it's time for the flag salute.
Mr. Price, can you please join us and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
Yes, thank you. Please, right hands over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and run through the agenda.
Madam President, would council like all items to go forthwith today?
Without objection, that will be the order. Next.
There is a request to continue item 13 to August 12th, item 14 to September 16th, and to receive and file item 5 inasmuch as the item has been scheduled in error.
Okay, without objection, that will be the order. Next.
Items 1 through 3 are items noticed for public hearing. Items 2 and 3 are public hearings for the establishment of business improvement districts. Items 4 through 20 are items for which public hearings have been held. For item 19, a Planning and Land Use Management Committee report has been submitted and posted online to Council File Number 180174 and 180174S2. Items 21 through 48 are items for which public hearings have not been held. A community impact statement has been submitted for item 46 from the Echo Park Neighborhood Council. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, without objection, those items are now before us, members. Members, can you please raise your virtual hand if you want to call any of the items before us special or if you want to introduce an amending motion? Mr. Buscaino?
Item 46, ma'am.
Item 46 special, is there an amending motion to that?
Sorry, no amending motion.
Any others?
That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Bonin?
Thank you, Madam President. Welcome back, everybody. I would like to call item number 42 for an amendment, a brief one, which would read, I move to amend the attachment to include in the CD11 section the Mar Vista Art Walk, annual cost estimate $20,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez seconds that. Any others, Mr. Bonin?
No others. Thank you much.
Thank you. Mr. O'Farrell?
Thank you, Madam President. Item 29 for remarks, please.
Any others?
That'll do it. Thanks.
Members, any others? Any other members wanting to call any of the items special or introduce an amending motion? Mr. Blumenfield?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking about a possible amendment to item 46 that would link the enhanced cleanup to stage 3. So I'm looking into that, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, we're going to take public comment on all these items, so if you need to introduce an amending motion.
Well,
or else
that's the possible amending motion that I'm thinking about, which is to link it to stage 3, the enhanced cleanup to only occur once.
Okay, we're going to have to reopen public comment if it's not an official amending motion.
Okay, then it's an official amending motion, but I may rescind it.
Is there a second to Mr. Blumenfield's amending motion?
Second.
Ms. Rodriguez, thank you. Any others, members? Mr. Wesson?
Yeah, I want to continue item 14 to September 16th.
Okay, without objection, that will be the order on item 14 for Mr. Wesson. Any others, Mr. Wesson? Mr. Wesson, do you have any others? Oh, he's good, okay.
No, I'm good.
Thank you. Mr. Koretz?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to call items 10 and 11 special for comments.
Okay, thank you. Any other items, members? Okay, seeing none, let's go ahead and begin the public comment process. Madam Clerk, can you go ahead and read out the call-in information for those who wish to provide public comment this morning?